Well, hello y'all. It's another beautiful day out here on the homestead. It's absolutely a beautiful day. It's the day after the opening day of fall. First day of fall. It feels great. But I'm here because we went to our local bait shop just right down the road. Kids were begging me, hey, I want to go fishing, I want to go fishing. I said, okay, let's do it. So I went inside and I was like, you know what? I think worms would be a good addition to our wicking bed. And they're like, that's different. Well, yeah, but to tell you the truth is, that wicking bed already has them. Worms are a great composter. They add nutrients to your soil, and they help your small beds out. People put them in their raised beds often. Now, you know, with the wicking bed, the plants are absorbing the liquid from the bottom, so you're not watering from the top. But because they're outside, you get rain. Well, as the worms do their thing, compost and move around and make their worm castings, whenever it does rain, it actually pushes that down to the water layer, and that little valve on the side, it allows you to drain that liquid out of the bottom. And you put it in a cup, take it to some of your other plants that you have like in containers. If you do have a bigger wicking bed and with more worms, you can probably use it even more places. So what I do is I'll take this and every couple weeks, and I'll take a small cup and I'll actually empty out the reservoir on here into the small cup or the cup, and then I'll spread it around to some of my other potted plants and things like that that I want to add fertilizer. So then what we do is we take a piece of pipe like this, pull it out, no bottom, add extra holes, and I'll make a top for it too, because I was using a cap on that one, but it gets a little too tight, so I need to make a little looser cap so when I pull it off it doesn't pull this up. And this basically works as our compost bin. We'll take scraps from the kitchen and put in here. The worms will eat it, break it down, spread the nutrients out through the bed, which will in turn help our cabbage right here or anything else that we're planting in our wicking bed. So what worms should you put in there? I took night crawlers and I've taken the red wigglers, both from our local bait shop that we use to go fishing with. We don't fish every single day, so we end up having days or weeks between. And when I first did this, I decided to do it because I didn't want to put, one, Chassie did not want worms in her inside refrigerator, and two, I didn't have room inside of my outside refrigerator. So I was like, I'm not gonna just let them die, and I don't want to just throw them in the ground. So I decided to put them in my wicking bed, and it turned out great. I have also seen other people do it, so it's not just something that came out of thin air that was invented. It'd be cool if I did invent something like that, but that did not happen. So I have learned that the red wigglers work the best. Red worms. Now these are what's sold at my bait shop and Wormville Reds, or what they call them, but they're red wigglers. If you know anything, you can pull them out. Just get this, that, and sometimes they get feisty and they'll just wiggle all over the place. But I found that those work the best in my compost bin. I don't know if it's because they're smaller. I have two buckets right here. Our third one, we were actually fishing earlier, and all the little bait snatcher fish clean this out. So I'm gonna clear a spot. It's right here. And now I'm gonna dump them in. Spread them around a little bit. There we go. And I'll cover them back up with the hay just so the sun, got a little piece of grass in there. just so the sun doesn't beat down on them and dry them out. And so that's pretty much it. We'll leave the worms to do their thing. They'll aerate the soil, add some nitrogen, add some breakdown, and bring more nutrients to the soil, and allow my one cabbage that I have in there to grow big and beautiful. Definitely would recommend it. If you have raised beds, I would also recommend it too. The only difference is if the raised bed goes into the ground, you know, your worms are going to travel to the ground. But as long as you have that compost bin in there, you know, you're going to attract more and you're going to bring more nutrients. So it's definitely something you should look into and try. But appreciate you sticking around with us today, and catch you in the next one.